So hi everybody, it's Jane from Living Skies Vintage. I'm back again and I'm starting to decide what kind of figures I want on this particular page. And as I said to you, I'm just going to move that glass of water out of the way. I really want to do my book kind of in this vertical position. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to film it and work on it this way while I'm still cutting and doing things. And then I will let you show how I lay them out. Now, I've got these two pictures out because I want to take his head off and put this head on. And I'll show you how I do that. But this is an example, is I kind of make paper dolls. So that's not his head, that's his head. And what I'll also do is I'll end up putting different eyes, so you won't be able to actually recognize the people that I've used. But here's how I do that. So this is the head that I have decided that I would like to have on here. I've kind of given it a size. It looks just a little bit bigger. It's about twice the size of his normal head. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut around like the outline of his head here. And I'll be careful to keep his ears because I want his ears. And welcome back to my, what I would say is my man book series. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with it. It might be a little bit of snark, you know, about how women maybe feel about men and maybe how men feel about women sometimes. But we'll see how it goes. I want to find some different pictures depicting male activities more than female activities, which is what I have focused on in the past. Things like, you know, shopping and, you know, the girly things that you might do. Now, what I'm going to do is, this is really long, and I don't want really any of his shirt to show. So I'm going to clip this right up to where the side of his neck is. So I'm going to get rid of this extra paper. One sec. So I've readied this so that I can I have something to glue with his tie on the back side, and I've left enough neck, I think, that it'll be good. Now, poor Superman, he's been getting crunched, so that's why I've decided I better use him up before he gets in any worse shape. So I'm just going to cut out what should be his neckline and shoulder, and I know I'm kind of leaving a tiny bit of his chin there, but I can deal with that in a little bit. I can always color that in with a darker blue if I need to. But there goes his head. Off with his head. And then we'll stick this guy in there. And you can kind of see, all right, so I can put his head up to maybe there. No, actually it's going to be more there. And see how Superman's chin almost even acts like a part of the neck, but I'm going to make sure that none of the white shows. There we go. That's about where I want him. And like I said, if I have to, I can always color that in a little bit, give it a little more definition. But it's going to disappear in the large sense of things. But you can see he's now got a bit bigger head, and I kind of like the way his lips are. I will change out those eyes yet. I might just give him glasses, but let's do a little bit of gluing here. What have I done with my glue? Oh, I've left it in here. Left it in this little compartment. Now, right now, I'm just using a little bit of Elmer's self-stick glue. You can move things around for up to 5 minutes. And what I'm going to do is just give them some glue right down there on his tie. Because this doesn't have to necessarily be the most permanent glue at the moment, because by the time I finish, it's going to be all glued very well into this here book, right? So there. Start on a new look for that Superman. And now I'm going to see if I can find some eyes for him. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, a little bit of glare on this guy, but I've got 3 candidates that I might use their eyes. And so her head's about the same size. Hers a little bit bigger and hers a little bit bigger again. Sometimes what I like to do is I like to actually change the size of the eye so you get a bigger head, then you get a bigger set of eyes. But I'll show you now how I cut for eyes. I usually try and go, and this one is helpful because she has the bangs, but I usually try and follow the contour of the forehead and the eyes. And I'm just going to kind of cut up here because that's the side of her head. And then I don't want her nose, but I'm going to cut down the bridge of her nose and then just back up here. And then with that, get rid of that, bring this. With this, I can then kind of look the bridge of the nose, you know, put those eyes on there. Her head was about the same. You can see it'll give him a different look, but I don't like the way that fits. That's what happens when the heads are too close. You know, you sometimes just can't get the best match. So I'm going to go and I'm going to now try her eyes. So again, I'm going to cut up at her hairline first and cut out basically her face in a rough shape, and then I don't have all this extra paper to deal with. Put that over there. So again, I'm going to go above her eyebrows and kind of match them down to the nose, up again. The last one I used her hairline, but this one I'm going to use her eyebrows. And again, I kind of want to go right across there so I can still see the bridge of the nose, because that's going to give me a better idea of where I should put her eyes. So there, you can see, yeah, the nose is a little bit bigger, but there's certainly a different look. What I'll do is I will bring this up so it'll be more of a mask-like now, but I like that set of eyes on there looking straight at you. This one would have been more of a little different look with the sleepy eyes look, but I'll keep her for another time. But in the meantime, I like how this one is working. The side of the face will work here, and then I can just trim it off here, and I will give him a better nose. So let's show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim the side of the face so that it matches. And then I'm going to actually take off her nostrils, but I'm going to make it in kind of a mask, like, you see what I'm doing? Kind of giving it a bit of a rounder shape around the nose so that the bridge of the nose will end up actually matching here. So that works out good. And then I just need to do that side. I'll take that little bit of dark off. I like where that is. It covers his eyebrows. So I'm just going to take a pencil. There we go. Pencil. And just kind of go, this is about where I want the side of the head to go, and I'll cut that off. Come back here, you. Little tiny pieces of paper never want to come back to you just take that where I had the pencil mark, do that, and then, yes, look at that. Entirely different person, different look completely. So I'm gonna, and that's what I'm kind of going for. I don't want them to look like the original person because, well, that might not be so nice. Anyways, I'll just get this. So I'm building the paper doll of the Superman that I want to put on my first man page, because I feel like, you know, all men want to be Superman. You know, they want to be our Superman anyways, don't they? In our lives. And this guy is going to be holding on to something. So he's going to be standing on the page somewhat like this. I'm not sure if he's down here or up here yet. But I've got 2 of these barbells. And I'm thinking I might want to use them. This is what happens when you use ads in magazines. You can, like, would those be fun? I could actually probably only use one and cut it in half because they both seem to want to go off the page. But yeah, if his hands were on them, they'd kind of be more like that. And then both of those would be off the page. So maybe I can just use half of each. Actually, it would be more like this because the shadow's on that way. That's another thing that you got to pay attention to sometimes, is where your darks and your lights are. So usually your lights are on top. So I would do it that way. And I think I could manage. Would people know that it's weights that he's holding on to if it was off the page? I don't know. Let me see. Maybe something else will come up. I pulled out a couple more things. I had this great big perfume bottle, which I'm not sure I like. And then I had this big perfume bottle. Again, not too sure. I got a giant toothbrush. No, I don't think so. And then the last thing I got here is maybe this giant pizza. That might be interesting. Could he be holding the pizza while someone is serving? That'd be interesting. Taking a piece. Kind of like that. Guys in food, eh? Guys in pizza. Strong man. Fortifying himself with his pizza. That might work. We'll get started with this, and then we'll add some more stuff. But I think this is going to be kind of the focal point, is Superman with his pizza. We'll see what we'll put at the bottom, but we'll go from there. So I'll see you back again another day, when I will have glued all these down, and I'll maybe have decided about what I'm going to do with the rest of this. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing the start of this man book, my man art journal, and I hope you come back again soon. So if you do me a favor and please give me a thumbs up. Please share it out to people that you know may appreciate this type of channel, and please subscribe if you haven't already. It is free, and if you ring that bell under the subscription, you will be notified every time I put out a new creative art video or a new thrifting video. So I hope you have enjoyed coming by today. I've sure have enjoyed having you with me, and I hope to see you again soon. So Jane from Living Skies Vintage, and bye now.